So this is George here at MUHL Customs. I'm with George with Surefire, and he's going to show us the new XC2.
All right, so this is the Surefire XC2-A, which is the model number. What we've done is we've been able to take the XC1 body, relocate the reflector a little down and lower to make room for a laser module. The only difference in dimension, as you see here, is a little bit of width over the XC1 body to accommodate for that movement. And then you've got a little bit of a height difference, again, to accommodate the laser housing. This works just like an XC1. So you've got a constant on switch, you move it over, light and laser come on together in the constant on mode. When you turn it off and you go to momentary, same paddle switches, they're ambidextrous. And again, light and laser are coming on together. So this is the XC2-A. It's going to be available sometime third quarter, probably late part of the third quarter. And we're looking at about $399 on the MAP price. And yeah, another great product coming soon.
So just a few questions. I've seen several reviews for the XC1.
Yes.
Some guy did one as far as a whole year of use, everyday carry, out in the woods, around the house. He had some problems with the paddle switches, and also over time with use at the range or on his ranch that it stopped working. Have you guys addressed those issues on the new model?
Yeah, actually, one of the things that often is mistaken on the XC1 is the runtime on the battery. You don't get a ramp down. So what you get is you get an even runtime, and then you get a very small, slow ramp if you're lucky to catch it, and then it drops off. Then what happens next is, especially if you're in the constant on mode, well, the light goes to off, right?
Right.
You cycle the switch from the on position to off again, and then turn it on, and then you get about another 10-15 seconds of light, and then it does it again, and then it gets shorter and shorter. And then eventually the paddles just don't do anything, even when the constant on might turn it on for a second or two. What's going on there is you've taken the battery down past the point where it can run the light. Mm-hmm. And you don't get that ramp down to really get any kind of warning. A fresh AAA lithium battery sits at about 1.8 volts under no load right out of the package. When you've run it through to where it can't power the light anymore on an XC1, it's sitting at about 1.49 volts under no load, which means that you've run down as much of that battery that'll run the light. Mm-hmm. You change the battery out, it comes back to life. That's where we see most of the issues. Other switch issues that, if it does happen that you have it, was with the first generation XC1. The boards were not epoxied in place, and there's a very tight tolerance for the toggle and the slide switch to come together. And if it's on, if basically the tolerances are off, it might be very difficult to go to the constant on position. But you know that's the problem, because with the fresh battery, you're having difficulty getting it to engage to the on position. If you have that problem, you send it in. We can adjust it, and we could epoxy it in place with the proper adjustment and get you back on the road and running.
Excellent. Yeah, when I first heard about the XC1, I was really excited about it, because it's hard enough as it is to find gun holsters to go with certain lights. Or like for instance, I carry a G19 using a Streamlight TLR1, and when I saw the XC1 came out, I'm like, oh, I'm really interested. It's really small. I already G-code their incog holsters. They're already starting to make some to accompany the XC1, and I was doing a lot of research, doing a lot of YouTube looking for the reviews on it, and that's when I came across that one guy. He had it for a year, used it for a year, and he started having issues with it, and I'm like, oh wow. I mean, I was about this close to buying it. I mean, it's a $250 ticket, but I wanted to do the research to before I bought it. So it was basically that video that prevented me from buying it. But when I saw that you guys were coming out with the XC2, I'm like, okay, I know they had to have, their R&D team had to have seen the reviews, gotten the feedback from the consumer. I know that Surefire would have addressed those. Thanks a lot. They would have addressed those issues. So I'm really excited to see the XC2.
Anytime we have problems with the light, we're we're going to address it. We own our problems. That's what makes us good at what we do. You know, we always try to make things better. Touching back on what we see as the most common trend is a battery that's been depleted. It sounds too simple, but you know, you hear it and you think, wow, now I check my battery. If we put a meter to it and it's sitting at 1.49 or lower, it's not going to run the light. So, and again, that's under no load.
Right.
That's the first thing I would check. If it's something else, you know, get in touch with us. We're always going to take care of you with our warranty and our customer service.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know that. I've seen you guys take care of it.
And then there are holster companies out there that are building the XC1 type holsters, you know, whether it's a form-fitted Kydex or like a bucket type holster. There are companies out there like Safari Land, like Raven Concealment, Dale Frick holsters. There's quite a few people making good Kydex holsters for most popular gun models with the XC1. And then as we're rolling this out, we're already starting to get some shells out to the holster manufacturers so they can get started with the XC2 models.
All right, thanks, George. Appreciate your time, man.
You're welcome. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming by. Enjoy the show.